Hello, I'm Oluwatobi Yusuf. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Today, we'll look into some manual processes in most organizations, then we'll come up with a solution to help digitalize and automate these processes. This video is for everyone, but centered on non-techies with no coding experience or no programming experience. If you're interested in digitalizing and automating manual processes in your organizations without writing a single line of code, then this is for you. Our use case is centered around a common manual process in most organizations, which is visitor registration. In our use case, the visitor is required to fill the information at the security stand on a piece of paper, after which is given a tag and directed to the reception. At the reception, the visitor is asked to fill in this same information. Our solution would digitalize this process first by leveraging a Microsoft form. We'll generate a QR code where our visitor can just come and scan a QR code and then fill in a form. The information on the form is then moved into a list, a SharePoint list, leveraging a flow built using Power Automate. Now, our visitor is required to fill the information just once by scanning a QR code. This information is now stored on a SharePoint list, and the security and reception are notified at the same time of the arrival of this visitor. Mind you, we'll be building all of this without a single line of code. Also, we'll be leveraging some of the latest updates in the Power Platform space just to build this. Let's jump in.
Okay, so let's dive in. So first things first, I start by navigating to office.com. So now by going to office.com, you see every single tool you have license for, or license to use rather. And I have Josh Kenny, which is a new user on my environment. So I created Josh Kenny, and to check all the tools I have license to, I'll click on the app launcher, which is what my bar is on. And when I click on the app launcher, I would go to the all apps. Then I'll go to explore all apps. Then I see all of the apps you see from booking people, a lot of apps that I have, license to. A lot of people have license to use this. So I'm clicking on forms, which is what I'm working on. And on forms, let's just go around, just what we see on forms at the moment. So I'll just click all of this out. Now, what you see on forms, you can see recent, which shows the recent things you've worked on, that's recent forms. Pinned are forms that definitely you've pinned. Shared with me are forms that are built by somebody else and is being shared with you. Then my group, these are forms that are built by groups, maybe like SharePoint group. You use the SharePoint group account to build that form. So next, I just want to create a new form. So yeah, I'll click on that to create a new form. So now my form is coming up, and yeah, this is my form. And like I said, this is a no code. You're not doing any coding at all in this our use case here. By default, it comes with the untitled form. First thing like doing, are you changing the themes? So I'll go ahead to change the themes. You can also pick or bring in your own customized themes. So you can see, you can go and bring in, upload an image. You can go as well as browse and bring in a theme for yourself or from OneDrive. But for me, I'm not doing any of those. So I'll just navigate back, and I'll go back and I'll pick that particular one. Yeah, I'll pick this one. So I'll pick this theme. You can pick anyone you want. So I'll just hide that. Then next thing, I'll change this my title. I don't want it to be that, so I'll be changing it to visitor registration form. Don't mind my spelling. Okay, I think I got that right. And now once I type that, the thing has some little bit of AI in it. So it suggests from records that these are what people use, so you should pick. So I'll just pick full name, phone number, email. So since I've ticked on those, I don't need address. I don't need address I don't need date of birth. I don't need any of this other information for my particular use case. So I'll just go and click on add selected, which is just 3 of them. And after that, am I picking any other thing? No, I'm not picking any other thing. So you can see I have my full name, I have my phone number, I have my email address, and I think those look good for me. So next thing I'll do is just make them required, so that they're filled. If you don't make them required, people won't may not fill it and you know those informations. So I need them to fill it so that before they can submit. So I'll go on to make those required. So I've gone ahead to make all of those particular fields required, which is what I've done. And the next thing, you see, I would also add another field. There are different kind of fields you can add. So I need to know who are they here to visit, right? So I think that should fall under who to visit. Yeah, I think that should fall under who to visit. So I'll get that particular information so that they give me the name of who they are here to visit. Then also I'll go on and add another text, which is a single line, and this is reason for visit. Maybe they have some reasons and I need to capture that. And for this, I'll make a long answer because they could want to say a lot of stories. And like I said, we are not limited to just single text alone. You can also use date, use rating, use text, or use choice. We'll come back to that and speak more on that maybe later on. But for this, let me just pick choice. Let me just capture gender, just to use choice. And you can see suggested for me. That's one good thing about using forms. It's automatically suggest. So you just no code. Yeah. So I'll delete that one. I don't need that particular option. I don't want it as man or woman. So I'll change woman to female. Now I'll change man to male. Then I think I'll leave that prefer not to say. I'll move it up, but I think sorry, I'm doing it wrong. So that has that to move it up. So I would click on that arrow up. So that arrow up should move it up, yeah. So that's would move it up for me. And I think I want it above phone number. Yes, and it's alright here. Okay. So I think I'm good with this. So next off, let's just go around. Let's preview, let's look at how it looks like when we want to use it. So now when I preview, it shows you how it's going to look like on a computer, on a desktop, on a system. Then also you can look at how it's going to look like on a mobile phone. So you can see it. I think the only bad thing here is it doesn't show the design. Okay, so now I've showed you around Teams. Let's now go to collect response. Now under collect response, what do you see? You can see the form link that you can copy and share to people. But for our use case, is a visitor registration form where we want visitors that are coming to the company to come and fill this form. So we can use a QR code and we can download this code, print on a paper that we can just put around in the environment. And this QR code, you can just drop it around and once the visitor comes, you can just scan it and fill. But the visitor is in an environment. So another thing we need to change is who can fill this response. So we want anybody to fill. So I'll change that to anyone can fill. So we have that under anyone can fill. So I think that is good for us. Then also if you want to embed, you can also get the code, the embed code also by clicking on that. So I think we are good in collect. So let's see what we have under this. We have collaborate and duplicate. So if you want to share, you want to duplicate, you want someone else to build with you, you can copy this link. So if I click on that, I have the link. Once I copy, I can share. I want to duplicate. So sorry, the first one is to collaborate. Someone to work with you. Second one is to duplicate. So now I'm going to settings. Now under settings, let's see what we have. So you see that first one, who can fill, we've changed that already from collect response. Then these are things you can play around, start date, end date. We're not using this in our use case. Shuffle questions. We're not using this in our use case, so we will just not touch them. Then you can customize your thank you message. So let me remove this particular one and let's just reshape it. Yes. So let's just write something else. Yeah. So thanks for your response. Yeah. The security officer will attend to you shortly. Okay, so I think that works for us. Then also there are two options: allow receipt for submission or get email notification for each response. So these features are more capabilities that comes with the form. So next, let's go to the language section where you can add more languages. So you see you can add, let me try and add French. Well, I'm not using it, so you can pick any of those. So we also have print form, we have feedback, and we have terms. So you can read all of those, but those are not like what is in the forms. So I think we are good. So now you see there are other types of type you can use like dates, that is data type you can use. You'll be using text, you can choice. You've not used rating, you've not used date. But this is going to be a series, right? So we're going to use those when we have a more complicated scenario where we need all of those. So we'll use all of these choices. So other ones we have are rating. We also have upload files. But for that upload files, you see, we can't use that for our use case because we want anybody to be able to fill it. That one upload files only work for when for people in your organization, when the form is within people in your organization. So let's preview the form, and you can see when I preview the form, it looks like this. So let me now go ahead and just leverage section. Section is like breaking the form into two and allowing them see another part, like another section. We'll also preview this. So for a section, I'm going ahead to put other information. Then I will just capture like a note, just maybe any other information they want to add, if it's not to add. So I'll make it long answer too, but not required. So when I preview, I'm going ahead to fill. If I click next, you can see what we see. So it's in just another section. That's basically how section work, and that's we are good on forms. Now we've been able to capture our data set, right? So the next thing is the data. So we're not able to capture the data. We're able to capture the data on the forms, but now we want to move it to be stored in somewhere where we can monitor it, and that's SharePoint. So how do we navigate to SharePoint? So we'll go to SharePoint by clicking on App Launcher, and we click on SharePoint. So once you click on that, it takes you to SharePoint. So yeah, this is my first time on SharePoint using this environment. So I'll click next. Then let's get started. So now I want to house my data on SharePoint, but I would need like an intranet, like a site. So I'll need to create a site. So basically, like I said, this site is just to house where my data is going to be on. So I'll go ahead to create a site. So I'll click on create site. Now there are two types of sites. There's the team site and there's the communication site. I won't talk too much on sites. There are tutorial videos where you can watch and get more details on all of these, the differences. So, but for my use case here, I'll just be going with a Teams site is what I'll be going in. So I'll click on my team sites to build for this my particular use case. So then now I'll give it a name. So what can I call it? Okay, forgive me, I have a bad naming attitude or habit. So I think I'll just give it a non-techie. I think that comes to mind. Non-techie. No, not look. Let me try no. Okay. So basically, like this is basically for someone that has no idea of how this worked before. You want to just build something, you want to digitalize your process. So I'll go on to build my site. So I'll just put in all of these information. Privacy settings, you can make it public or private, but I'll keep it private because I also want certain people to have permission. Then so I'll just leave it for private. So you can definitely put it public or private, whichever one you want. Then you can change any of those information and click on next. When I go to next, I can add members. So I think I have Oluwatobi in my environment that I can add as a member. So I'll check for Oluwatobi. So Oluwatobi happens to be the admin, but I would not be adding a member. So in further series, this is just the first series. We'll show you how to add it from the site. So you can add if you have members to add. If you don't have, you don't need to worry. You can still build without adding anybody. So I won't add. I'll click on finish. Okay, so now this is my site. This is nice, it's good. So I won't be touching too much on SharePoint, but one quick thing I just like doing when I come to SharePoint or create a new site is just to change the templates. I really don't like the templates or this default template. So I do just change it to something that looks a bit more appealing. So I'll just go to list settings. Then I'll go to site template. Okay. So I'll go to apply a site template. And on apply a site templates, this particular one that we're given. This is the particular one you're giving. Then I'll click on this particular trainer because I like that blue one. It's like appealing. So I'll click on that blue one. So this looks nice. I'll just use template and it applies. That's all. Like that's how it is. So like I said, this SharePoint basically is just to house our data. We won't be creating our list directly on this SharePoint. You can create here. So you can click on new and list like I did and create here, but no, we won't be creating here. What we'll be going to list to go and create. So this is just to have somewhere to house our data. In case we're going to do other scenarios and we need to house our data somewhere. So I'm going to list now and I'll show you how to navigate our launcher list. Yeah. So now I'm on list. Next thing is just to go ahead and create a new list. I'll just go and click on new list to create a new list. There are templates you can use, so you can just go through all of these templates to use. You can also get from previous Excel or from existing lists. But for this case, I'll be starting from blank. So you can use an existing list. If you have a list already, you can use. So I'll start from blank. I'll be giving my list a name. So for my list, I'll just give it a visitor management list. I think that sounds fine. Not be too appealing. So forgive my part. Let me have it. Okay, so I have that. Then I'll just give a short description to manage visitor registration. I think I'm fine with that color. I'll pick maybe I can just change that shape. I'll leave it. So now I'll just go and pick that site I created, which is non-techies. You can remember we just created a site and name it non-techies. I'll click on that site. I'll leave that showing site navigation. You can click it. You can unclick if you don't want. Then I'll just go ahead to create my list. So this has gone ahead to create and this looks nice. So first thing first, I would like to move my list closer to my form. So let me just move my list closer to my form because I want to be creating what I have on my form on my list. So I'll get the full name. So for the full name, I don't want to create a new share since I have title. Title can take my full name, so I'll just rename it to full name. So I've copied that. I'll just come here and paste and save. So you can see how that has gone ahead to change from title to name. I'll get gender also. Gender is choice. So I'll go back to my visitor management list. I'll click on choice. Then I will add gender. Then I'll change the choices. Choice 1 to male. Then also I'll change choice 2 to female. Then for choice 3, I'll go back and copy what I have on my form, which is prefer not to say. I'll just copy that and I'll go back to my list and I'll change that to prefer not to say. You can also add another choice. You can remove choice if you don't want to, but I'm good. I'll save that. I think that answers me. Okay, so next, let me go to my form. What do I have next to my form? I have phone number. So I'll just go and put that. It's a single line of text. So I'm using a single line of text for my phone number because I'm not doing any addition with that. I just need to capture that data, right? So I'm not doing any kind of manipulation with that. So I'll just use as a single line of text. You can use as a number if you want, but for my case, I'll just use as a single line of text. So I'll just put phone number there. I think this is good. I'll save this as well. Okay, so what's next on my form? Email address. I'll copy that. That should also fall under single line of text. So I'll go back to my list, single line of text. So I'll put my email address. So what's the next on my form? O to visit. So I'll go back to my list. I'll get a single line of text also. So mind you, single line of text is 255 characters. So I'll just save that as well. So that's I'm single line of text. I'm not expecting more than 255 characters. So I'll get the reason for visit. For that, I'll make multiple line because that can be more than 255 characters. You can type a lot of things there. So I'll get those information. I'll make it multiple line and I'll save. Multiple line captures 63,999. I hope I'm right. So let me get the last one. Notes. Let me navigate back to my list. Go back to multiple line of text. So that can be long. I'll put that here also and I would also save. Okay, so I think I'm good. Then one more thing I would like to capture is the dates, the date and time in which this thing was particularly filled. But if you notice, I didn't ask that question on the front end. Why? Because I don't need it. So the form, I'll show you a trick around that. The form captures that, so I'll show you that. I'll also include time because I'll be doing some kind of formatting, which I will show you. So I have to capture the date and time. So I'll save that. Okay, so now we have been able to capture our data from forms. We have where we store our data, SharePoint list or a list. What we need to do now is just to map them together so that we get our form data and move it to our SharePoint list, and we'll navigate to our Power Automate by going to App Launcher as we always do. Then we'll click on, you can just click on Power Automate or click on all apps. If you don't see Power Automate, scroll down, you should see your Power Automate. Now click on Power Automate. If this is your first time coming, you definitely see something like this. Get started. Just click on get started. That takes you with that windows. Then yeah, so I'll just navigate to my to create flows. That's a create flow. You want to build flow. So this is the home page. So I'll navigate to create flow. Sorry, to create rather. So now on create, for this particular use case, I'm excited. I'll be using a new feature, which you can see. You describe it, AI builds it. So just to let you know, if you are in the US region, you should be seeing this now, as at when I'm dropping this video. But if you're not in the US region, it will take a bit of time, like a few days or a few weeks before it comes. So just to let you know about that. So I'll be using this particular feature. It was just recently announced by Microsoft in the last Microsoft Ignite, where you just describe in English language, in natural language, what you want to do. And an AI shows you how to build a form. So I've clicked on that. Get more done effortlessly. I'll click on done. Then now I'll just get some text I've written before. So I think I tried one text, so I'll just get that. So just let me scroll down through my clipboard. I'll try that, and once I search, you'll see it brings out what I'm supposed to build for me. That is the flow I need to build, and I can also view to check, oh, is this the flow I really want to build? But let me try another thing. Oh, Microsoft Forms. Let me just try another language. So you can try another language, and please let me know your feedback in the comment section if you didn't see it. So I'll just type Microsoft Forms to list. I want to move my stuff from Microsoft Forms to list. So mine is still SharePoint list. So this still answers. I can view it. When I view it, when the response is submitted, get the response and create an item. That's simply what I want to do. That already does it. And I think I'm good. I'll just click on that action and click on next. So this is the power of AI. I will implore all of us to try this. It's something I'm really excited to do and to test out. So that I'll just allow to connect to this particular account. So it has verified for SharePoint, has verified. I'll just click on next. The next thing, just put in all of those drop down. No coding. If you notice, I'm not writing any code. So visitor, I'll just click on visitor registration form. That's the form I need. This also visitor registration form. For the SharePoint side, if you can remember, non-techies was what we use our SharePoint side. Then for the list, if you can remember, is our visitor management list. And what do I do next? Create my flow. And that's it. The AI goes ahead to create my flow for me, and voila, my flow is here. I have my flow. So first things, please try and rename your flow. Always try to rename your flows. It's really, really important. You don't want your flow to be having bad names, and you need to identify your flows. So I'll just give it a weird name. Visitor registration form flow. So that's my flow. And if I open them up my card, you can see that they are all filled. So now I just need to come to fill all of this. So then just to map them, what I need to do. Now my title, if you look at my title, you can see I renamed title. If you can remember, I named it to full name. Let's go back. I renamed this full name to title, right? But I'll show you why it's still coming out as title. What you're seeing here now is what we call a display name. What you see is display name. But what is showing on my SharePoint is what we call a field name. So how do you see your field name? I would now go on to click on that settings, list settings, that here, and I'll click on list settings. Now when I go to my list settings, you will see that even though I've changed that to full name, you're not seeing any full name here. This is just back end of the list, and if you remember, I told you that it's SharePoint. It says SharePoint list, so you can see SharePoint on top. you can see title. I changed it to full name, but you can see on the back end it's still title. That's why on our flow we still have title. So mind you, our title is our full name. So this is just one of these issues with flow. So it doesn't like change the field name as well. So for the title, I'll type in full name. I'll just close that. Okay, I'll just click outside and click back. Okay, and I'll put my full name. I'll click on that. I'll click for gender type. I'll click on enter custom value. Then I'll put the gender. Then for phone number, simply the same thing. I'll just type phone number and I'll pick my phone number. For email, I'll just type email and I'll put the email address. For who to visit, I'll just type who to visit and I'll put that there. For reason to visit, I'll just type reason to visit and I'll put that there as well. Notes, I'll do the same thing. I'll type notes. I'll put that there. Then for dates, remember it's already just suggested I need the submitted time. So this is the submitted time from the form, directly from the form. So I'll just capture that there, the submitted time, and I'll just save my flow. So I'm going ahead to save my flow. Just a quick one, please. Let's give feedback when we use this. Please let's let Microsoft know what you are facing. If it's cool, I'm really satisfied, I'll give it 4. But if you're not satisfied, please, you can also put in what is not working for you. So I think this is a really cool feature and that we should all try out. So let me just test my flow. So I'll click on test. I don't have any previously run flow or run flow rather. I'll just click on manually and I will test my flow. So now to test my flow, I definitely need to put in some response. So I'll navigate to my form, which is already on preview mode. So I'll just go ahead to fill this my form. So I'll just give the full name any name. I'll give it a gender. I'll type in a phone number. So you see that's number, so it must be number. So I'll just go in and just type in a random number that comes to my head. Then I'll just give it a weird demo address. This is just to test this, right? So I'll just give it an email address. Then who to visit. Let me just put my name there. Oluwatobi Yusuf for who to visit. Okay, then for reason to visit, for official purposes, just put that there. See. But you can type a whole lot. That field can take up to 63,999. Then I'll click on next. Then for my note, let me just put something simple here. It is an urgent meeting. Okay, so I'll just capture that there. Then I would go ahead to submit my form. So now I've submitted my form. Let's go. So you can see what we did. Thanks for your response. Security officer will attend to you. What we customized, and that's it. So let's go. First, before our list, let's go to our form, our flow. It has run. Let's now go back to our list. Let's refresh our list. And you can see that has appeared. All of our information, even down to the dates, has appeared. So it has captured that date. So mind you, that date is in US time. So it has captured that date for me. Now I would go back to my form and to my flow. I want to capture another part. So mind you, there's a part that is still missing where we have to notify them. So the security officers and the HR or the receptionist also know or get all of those or are notified that someone has filled that form. So we'll just send like a reminder, just like a notification. So we'll be sending like a mail. So we'll send an email card to this also, and it's quite easy adding that. So we'll just modify this our flow just a little. So now we would go ahead to go and I will just edit it. I'll add a new step. Just send an email. So I'll just type send an email. So now because I have Outlook on my account, so I'll just use send an email v2 for Outlook. So that will just take a minute or some seconds just to connect to my Outlook account. And yes, that's connected. So I'll just put in my name. So I'll assume I'm the security person because that's notifying me. So George Kenny. I'll assume myself as a security person. Then for subject, I'll just give it a funny subject. New visitor arrival. That comes to mind. New visitor arrival. Okay, then I want to put the name of the person. So I can just put the name of the person, full name. So you can pick either the SharePoint or the form. I just like picking the form. So you can put that. So I'll just capture that new visitor arrival. Then I think that's okay for my subject. Then for my body, since it's going to Josh and I know it's Josh, so I'll just write hello Josh. Okay, let me give some space. So I'll just create a random text, just to show that, oh, this particular visitor, since I have the names, I can just customize that. So I'll go ahead and pick this particular visitor, that is whoever is presently around. So I think I should rephrase that. So I'll just rephrase that. Is around to see who to visit. So I'll just capture who to visit here. So you can customize this any way you want. This is just how I decided to customize mine. So also I want to put the reason to visit. So I'll capture the reason to visit. The reason to visit. So I'll just go and capture that for my forms as well. Reason to visit. So I'll just capture the ones from the form. Then the next thing, other information. So you can remember about other information. So I'll put other information. So other information. Okay, so I think I'm missing that spelling. Okay, so I think I've gotten it right. Other information. Then I just want to go ahead and also now let me just show you the dates now. So this is another feature that was released, and any feature too. So the dates. So I'll go and capture that time, that submission time. But I don't just want to put it like this. I want it to have like a friendly user look. Like this particular date, particular time, not just 10 stroke to all of that. So I'll go to my expression. So you can see format. So I'll just close that. Okay, so I'll just click outside. I'll click back in. Yes. So I'll go to my expression. I'll go to my format dates. So now I'm trying to get down my submission time. So I'll just scroll down. You can search. Sorry, I don't mind for not searching. You can just scroll. I'll just scroll down. So I want to get down my submission time. So it's asking for how does the value look like. So I'll just go to my list. I have the way it looks like on my SharePoint list. So I'll go to my list. I'll edit in grid mode. The reason I'm editing in grid mode is just to get the normal way it's appearing. This is the way it appears. So this is the way it's supposed to appear in that mail. But I don't want it to appear like this. So I'll just copy this. I'll go to my flow. I'll put this in there. Then under desired output, it already suggests form. I'll pick this. But I also want the day to show. So I'll type the day in front. I'm typing that day in front. So I'll just put a command. That's the day. So I'll just click on that and I'll get expression. And it has gotten expression from me. All I need to do now is just to apply. Got it. And that is the date already customized for me. And I'll just put regards. And I'll save my flow. Now so my flow is saving. It's saved already. So I'll just go ahead. So one more thing, I want to add the HR. So I'll assume Oluwatobi is the HR or the receptionist rather, and I'll save him as the receptionist so that he sees that information and he can follow up before the person reaches him. So automatic for this particular one, I'll just use my previously run flow and I'll test with it. So it will go ahead to run and it has run. So I will just go to my mail and now you can see my mail. It's a new environment, so you will not see much mails here. I'll close that. So this is my mail and you can see the information came out as we want, but you can see other information didn't come out. So we did something wrong. We'll go back and check that. But for a date and time, I can see how it came out. It came out just the way we want it to. That is Friday 28th October, around this time. So, and I think we are fine with that. So the next thing is to go and check what happened. So first to check, I'm checking the mail, so you can see nothing came to our flow. So next thing, let me check my create items. Did anything go to my notes? Did we capture anything under notes? So now we know where okay, so if I go back to my form and I go back, actually I know where I've made the mistake. If I go back, so I'm capturing other information instead of notes. So it's supposed to be note I'm supposed to capture, not other information. So I'll just put note there. And I'll click on notes and I'll save this. So it's going ahead to save. So that I'll test again with the previous flow that ran, and I'll test that again. So it has run, and now we see our mail is coming as we want. So that's the notification on the lower corner there that it has gone, and I would now navigate to the HR or reception, which is Toby, and you can see it comes out as we want. So we've been able to automate this process.
Thanks for watching. In the next series, we will treat a more complex case scenario and also advance on what we've done. Kindly drop your comment in the comment section. Bye for now.